fucking rap today on.
We're live. Okay. Interesting. Random as hell. And Yam, turn off your cam. Less laggy.
I kid you not. I hit rap today on. Hit a fucking rabbit on a Segway. Oh my god!
Hit a rabbit on the Segway.
Welcome to the show.
Late than a mug. Everybody, welcome to the Tico's Fair. Sadism.
In front of you out of nowhere.
Sadism forthcoming. Only you can run over a rat.
I didn't run over
rabbit,
him. I smacked his feet. They were up in the air, and I could clearly see his feet getting smacked by the fender of my Segway.
He had it coming. Clearly, Double I hates animals.
Clearly. Oh man, Peter's gonna so kill me.
Well, you're in California. What's the topic of the day, boys?
Well, you guys all know what I'm going to talk about because I'm hurt. So
You're hurt from what?
I'm very hurt. So let's get some other preliminary topics before we talk about how hurt I am.
Who raised you?
Yeah.
Hurt you, boy.
I really just have no chill.
You're simple as hell. What's the topics, simpleton? So we can get into it. Or we want the lovely crowd to pick a topic.
Who's in?
Hey,
Who's in? Let's
if you're
see
in
who's
here.
in the box.
We got America's DeVille and we got MGTOW to win.
MGTOW to win and America's DeVille.
Uncle
What y'all want the topic to be tonight?
Uncle Americus, I'm having a very entertaining time navigating this landscape of working, because obviously, I mean, it is infested with females. Like, let's be honest. Yams hasn't really practiced his crispy mouthpiece game as much as he should have. I admit, I spent a little bit too much time in front of the console, the PlayStation, and not enough time practicing my crispy mouthpiece skills.
Whatever, smartass. Anywho,
No, I'm saying I actually learned something from Seeker today because Seeker was like, "Hey, put a little bit more bass in your voice. We're talking to women." And it actually works. It actually does work.
Yeah, I know it does.
Fun fact.
I told you that it worked.
Depends on who you are.
Well, I never listened to that. I wouldn't say it until like the 8th time you say it.
Put some bass in your system. Put some bass in your system. What's the who programmed you?
Who programmed me? Yeah.
Who's somebody from the lovely crowd to pick the topic for tonight? The lovely audience. Pick the topic or topics.
Yeah, it's
Since Yam can't come up with one.
Yeah, it's
or put a dick in your mouth.
Or tell Yam that force Yam to come up with a topic. Let's see, what's Yam got under the desk?
What do you got on your mind, son? What do you got on your mind?
Nothing, man. No mind. Clear
mind. Look inside.
It could be anything. We did what people not paying attention and pretty much SJWs yesterday, so it could be any topic. We pretty much talk about it.
Let me pick one then. Fuck it. I'm gonna pick a topic. If y'all motherfuckers can't come up with one, then shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you don't want to talk about my cat. I just got off my cat.
So let's talk about fireside chats. Right, so we always talk about the destruction of male space.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of destruction of male space. Everything from they took the bars, they took the hair, barbershops. They took our what do you call it? You can't stand on the sidewalk or right in front of your place or whatever if you're in the city. and talk with a group of people that's congregating, on the sidewalk, or you're blocking fucking sidewalk or whatever. So chisel by chisel, day by day, piece by piece, they took away the space, right? What about fireside chats? When was the last time you gents had fireside chat?
Yesterday.
Not you.
Yeah,
we literally had one yesterday.
What is that?
Not you.
What is that?
You're different.
Me and Yam had one yesterday. Me and Yam had one last night.
Oh. So virtual fire chat.
Well, what is it for those of us who don't know? Is that kind of like where you get the gin, or you get like a scotch or something, or like some brandy, and you sit near the fire, and you just like, or the salon, and you just like,
it's kind of what we're doing here, right? So this is a virtual fireside chat. We're all, standing around, essentially, or sitting around, depending on where we are, what we're doing, and how we're conducting our normal activities. We could be driving right now. Americus DeVille could be smoking a cigar. Who knows? We're men. We do different things. We do things that make us happy. We do things that help us unwind, get ready for the week. Selectively choose to share certain types of knowledge to better other people. These are all manly things to talk about. That men talk about when we have fireside chats or chats in the barbershop or wherever. It doesn't matter. So when we want to convey information that may or may not uplift somebody's life, or maybe better somebody's life, or anything for that matter. What say you guys? I mean, have you seen a degradation of that?
Well, what I noticed is like, first off, can you hear me? Oh yeah. You said they took ours, and I mean, they're not gone. The spaces that you're talking about, they're just hijacked now, and it's like they're still available, which is sad. And it's like, if they were to take it away, at least make it so that men don't have access to them. And if you really wanted them for yourselves, you should have just taken them and kept them for yourselves. But it's like they've been hijacked, and now a lot of these places that are supposedly for men kind of lure men into a false sense of being entertained, and then really it's just like wasting their time for the most part. Like, I think the sports.
You say hijacked, I say intentionally erased, because if you think about it, before this whole feminist movement, equality and everything like that. I'm not trying to go against the feminist movement here or anything like that. We all know it should not exist, and that's the way it is. But since it does, and since it did what it did, right? So movie space, when we looked up to our heroes, Marvel, shining example of that, took that shit away. That's male space right there. Like, who didn't read a comic book when they were little, when they were going through, things as a teenager, or even a little older. Yeah. Even some people still read comic books into their 30s, 40s, and into their old age.
It's that piece of escapism that is gone in a lot of the entertainment, like artifacts that used to be like we could escape into a different world. Now all of the artifacts bring you back into the real world. Like, oh, this superhero's power is climate change or something. It's like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
When you say hijacked, I don't see that. I don't see that as a viability. I see hijacked as a cope. I see what happened as a destruction. Why do I say destruction, right? Well, back in the day when I walked into a barber shop, especially one in a neighborhood or around a block or something like that, they had signs up like, no loose talk or no cursing, or, it basically, it set the stage as to how you were to act in public. Like everybody went to the barber shop. Go ahead, buddy.
I was saying Shinobi won in the house, and not the house, but the trap.
Okay, so the thought process, shit.
I'm sorry. You just talking about the barbershop.
most people went to the barbershop. You know, that was their first inkling of social awareness back in my day, right? You know, you had people come over, you went to school, but before even kindergarten, you went to the barbershop with your dad, you know, when you were little, and you got a cut, and you're sitting there on top of the chair, barber there, you're feeling like a fucking king because there's your dad, you know, he's like, that's my boy, you know, you're sitting up there on the barber's chair and getting your hair cut. And then you're listening to the grown men talk in the room, you know, like that was your first taste of male society or society in general.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I mean, they took that, like, they reinterpreted loose talk to mean the truth, and so you can't.
I lost my sound. I'm gonna have to bounce. Sorry, I'll come right back.
Okay.
The reason why it is hijacked is because, you know, no matter what we don't tolerate, there are always, like, the left and basically the mainstream media will always one up us on what's like more intolerable. And what they've done with, like, things like institutions like male spaces is they kept them around, but they've changed around the verbiage to mean, or to have things like taboo and loose talk and things that aren't allowed be closer to the truth than fiction. And then meanwhile they get to live in their fictional reality that's supported by social media and, you know, the ability to take a picture of anything and caption it however you want. Like, you take a picture of a woman in a barbershop and you change the caption from depressed single mother living on, you know, paycheck to paycheck, and you turn it into strong independent woman living her best life. And that's how everyone basically adapts to it. And if anyone says anything that's true, that's considered taboo, or that's considered loose talk. And it's like these people have basically co-opted the spaces that we normally use, and did it entirely with the power of technology. They just did. They completely changed everything around, and that's why everything that we know about the old world still exists. It's just like it's all covered in ideology, and you can't necessarily go back to the way things were before, where we could have a male space where no one is really trying to pull any BS, because we actually have to use BS to fight BS nowadays, which is sad. Like, you can't actually be real with somebody, because you're putting a lot at risk by doing that. And it's like a phenomenon that I notice mostly when I see people trying to fight back against bullies. They'll start to shake and they'll start to get kind of that fight or flight instinct. And what happens is that, you know, that every time you pay attention to somebody like that, you give them more and more power. And so, like, the more power they have over you, the more you feel that cortisol rush and that adrenaline and that dopamine rush, because you're feeding into their whole attention paradigm. And that's why you start shaking, and that's why you start, you know, your heart starts racing, and you start to mince your words because you're just overcome with an intense amount of emotion.
Yeah, true.
And that happens. I mean, that happens to me. I don't really get super emotional, but it's like, even if I were to say the truth, it's like it falls on deaf ears half the time. Or, like, no matter what I say, people will always still look at me as the nice guy, or look at me as a potential victim of or a potential Me Too target, even though I try everything that I can to sort of stay out of it. And it's like, I'm not trying everything that I can. I'm just trying to use no matter what options I use. Sometimes it's just like, it's just your environment that is the thing that's bad. It's not something that you're trying. And that's kind of the point of SYSBM, and it more, really, when you think about it.
True.
And I think a lot of people will find that type of content uplifting if they experience like nihilism in that area.
Oh, definitely.
Where it's like they don't. It's not for lack of trying. They have tried, but they don't find the answer. Looking somewhere else will probably they'll probably discover something.
Definitely. True story.
But I mean, there are other areas to explore. Like one thing I'm kind of been thinking about lately, just because of recent events, is the whole pickup artistry, and who exactly it's for, because it's not really for everyone. And contrary to what most businessmen in the pickup artist community would say, it's like charm and confidence only works with a certain subset of individual men who actually have something to be confident about and have certain successes that they recognize and measure out and are able to prop themselves up with.
True.
And what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Being somebody that was a pickup artist in high school.
Oh, really?
Without even fucking trying. I wasn't a Chad, I was a Juan. No, but yeah, like it pickup artistry does work for the most part. And the sad part about that is like a lot of people don't think it works, but it works. It does wonders, and it does wonders for the human body and the human spirit for the most part. The thing about pickup artistry is
like what Ken Han Solo was saying a few live streams back. Like he was actually trying to disagree with us and say that PUAs are substantial and things like that.
Well, no, it's not the fact that I disagree with him. I disagree with his stance on the whole entire thing. It's just that, like, it's at the end of the day, pickup artistry is nothing more than a way to actually charm somebody into doing something that you want, basically.
Exactly. That's what I say. It's nothing but charming a woman. That's all it is. Yeah,
it's nothing but charming and wooing a woman, and what you want her to do for the most part.
And then to bring that bring that into MGTOW, it's not to say that MGTOWs should shame other people for charming women or persuading them or to do something.
Well, it's not even that, because you also got to take seriously too. Do you also have a wing of MGTOW? You also have a wing of MGTOW that they refer to as the pump and dump crowd. So, yeah. They basically do the same damn thing. So,
I've never had a problem with the ladies, right? So I've never had issues. Like if I ever wanted to pick one up, I pretty much go into that mode and I'm in, right? I'm not really worried about that. That's not something I don't worry my mind over at all. That's just it. I don't understand why it's the forefront of male thought process. I mean, I get it. You want your girlfriend or you want your significant other, but after putting on your red pill goggles and understanding what you got,
the sad part about that.
Hold on, Tico. Let me finish. So you go out there with your red pill goggles, and then you run into crowds of people and you see what they're capable of doing. You see what they're after, right? So you do the red pill test. You run the red pill test during a date. So take, for instance, someone set you up with a date, someone in a friend circle even. So you thinking, okay, I can trust this person, but then she gets off on the red flags and everything during the date. And then, at the end of the day, you realize with your red pill goggles that, oh shit, this is just one of them. That's it. That she's just trying to monkey branch to me. She's riding a carousel of our friends and trying to find out which one's got the most successful, business or whatever he's doing. And he's got the most money in the bank. And that's the one she's going to jump on. It's so evident with your red pill goggles now, right? So the question is, right? Pickup artistry. First of all, there's no art in it. You got to learn it, right? If you don't have it naturally, like Tico and I, if you don't have it, you got to learn it. And how do you learn it? You learn it from your father. You learn it from male space. That's how you learn it, right? You're not going to pay somebody to teach you. And if you think you could pay somebody to teach you how to pick up girls, dude, Give somebody in need that money. Help somebody else. You know, this is the wrong place to throw your money, man. If you think you cannot pick up a girl, I would have to go far and say I would like to hear about that situation, even privately, and I would like to possibly give you my 2 cents as to what I think. And if you haven't tried it yet, who knows? Maybe you'll get a new thought process or new train of thought to try. So go ahead, Tico. I'm sorry to.
You're fine. I was going to say before you continued on that lovely rambling, that lovely message, that at the end of the day, pickup artistry is not for actually getting a mate or a girlfriend. It's basically for a short-term thing. It's not for a long-term thing. Because at the end of the day, why would you want to pump and dump? No, I'm just saying though, it's not for long-term solutions. So you don't date a person that you just use pickup lines on. Basically, it's just facts.
Well, yeah, it's not as in.
That's true.
That's true. It's not as ingenuine.
Yeah, no, you don't pick up long term. Because, like, at the end of the day, pickup artistry doesn't teach you how to keep a woman. At the end of the day, like I always say, it doesn't show you how to keep a woman. It doesn't tell you anything about how to maintain a relationship. All it tells you is how to get into one.
Why would they teach men how to use like one-liners just to get into a woman's panties? Like, look, you and I both know it is absolutely possible to have a non-verbal connection with a perfect stranger, right?
Yeah.
So, in that process, how is number one? How is a line going to get you anywhere? Because I can guarantee you right now, as potential mates, you're sized up before you even approach. Anything that comes out of your fucking mouth, if it ain't about money, she ain't interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think it's sort of a way of men getting together.
He said double eyes thinking too logically. PUA is a based on illogic. PUA is based on emotional manipulation, and it is. It really is.
It is.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. You pretty much are playing into somebody's emotions for the most part.
Some people already know how to do that. Yeah. Some people are really good at that.
I get if I really wanted to, and if I really wanted to be a dick, I can manipulate men and women.
Yeah, that's America's. That's my problem. Is like sometimes I try to take the high road, even though I know how to get underneath somebody's skin. When I'm like I feel it's more natural.
Let me augment.
To me, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me augment an analogy, right? Cock carousel. We know that the women that we are trying to stay away from, obviously, are definitely ones jumping on a cock carousel, right? We've already proven DNA stays in the female brain after injected into it and everything like that. Whether ingested or vaginally, DNA makes it up to your brain, right? It's a known fact. If you don't know if that's true, if you think I'm lying, go look it up. I'm not going to put you on this live stream. Next thing, moving on. If you know that, you're the female jumping on the cock carousel is number one, a sperm toilet. So she's got all sorts of DNA swirling around in her head. Number two, she's not able to latch on, or she's not able to pair bond because she's been she's promiscuous. Exactly. So then, augmenting that reality and that analogy, the person that you would consider a PUA would be the guy behind the control of that cock carousel, right? So he doesn't control who's on it. He doesn't because it's the kids and their parents decide who's on it, right? He doesn't control who's on it, but he's controlling in a way, or steering the jumpers into his lap is what he's doing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Kind of like a herd dog.
A herd dog, yes, exactly. In that, but you know, I still don't understand how someone can part with their money. It doesn't add up to me.
No.
I know it's logic, Americus. I get it. I know I'm trying to be too logical here.
Well, if I
think about it,
add a little bit
You work
to
hard.
the logic,
You work
illogic
hard for your
part.
money. You work hard for your money, right? You. You.
Well, the thing is, not a
You
lot of people work hard for their money.
You
though, and
Americans. You win.
that's
You're out there fucking driving. We
uh-huh,
all work hard for our money, right? We work
uh-huh.
hard for it. Why would we throw it at some guy that says that he can teach you how to get more women?
Yeah, the sad part about that
Because
is
he's like the
up.
Mr. Oz. Like he's in the Emerald City and he's behind the curtain, and we think that he's more powerful than he really is.
Yeah, but
and so we
See,
have all this
the sad part about game, the most effective teachers of game didn't have to sell you anything. They basically just told you about it. Like they used to say, the game is to be told, not to be sold, basically. And the sad part about that is, even in all the ghettos and all the hoods, the best pickup artists actually come from the inner city or the ghetto, basically, or third world countries. Them are the best pickup artists in the freaking world. I mean, so.
Dude.
True. This is true, man.
We literally teach it to each other for free, like it's a barbershop, basically. It's something that's passed down from generation to generation, person to person, basically, via mouth.
It's like
There's nobody paying for any damn thing. Only thing you're paying is attention.
Yeah. And the thing that allows for opportunists is when there isn't a free exchange of information amongst consenting men. Because I mean, all of us men know what we want, but the second somebody tries to say that, we want the hottest girl, and to get the hottest girl, you're just not going to cut it. You're not tall enough. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough hair. I mean, it's ridiculous in the 10th degree that we are told what we want, and not only and we're told how to get what we want. So we're pretty much sacrificing from the word go, and that's what PUAs do, is they kind of sell. They're selling the plantation.
Yeah.
They're selling that lifestyle.
Yeah, that's all it is them selling the plantation life to you. And the sad part about that is the neat thing about it is, like, it's so crazy how, like, they always talk about, like, oh yeah, I'm going to keep you in the market, this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. And the sad part about that is all these motherfuckers that are all these spit all this game, ain't none of them motherfuckers in a relationship. Or ain't none of them. I'm willing to go as far as none of them are in a viable. If one of them are in a relationship, he's not in a valuable relationship, and it's probably going to end very soon and very quickly, very abruptly, and very savagely.
Especially if it's based on emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just genuine honesty.
You can only emotionally manipulate somebody, but so much.
Well, I mean, it's like Becky thinking that when her makeup's washed off, that Tyrone's still going to stick around when he wakes up. It's like, no, that's unless he's completely indoctrinated, he'll be like,
Yeah.
I think he broke up again.
I think he broke up.
Oh,
too.
sorry. Well, I was saying it's like Becky when her makeup washes off after the night, thinking that the guy's still going to stick around. Like, PUA is telling you to lie the first time you meet somebody, and then when they figure out all that stuff, like your real name and all that they're gonna stick around. They're gonna be like, oh well, he played me, but if that ever happened to you, you'd be like, screw that. I'm never trusting you. I'm out.
Don't put it past certain women. They actually will stick around in certain aspects because of they got nothing else.
No.
Yeah.
Look, after you hit the wall, or even get close to it, your time is coming. Like, look,
you do.
Even your best years are ahead of you, right? So you don't even know half of it. Tico, the different phases of your life. Actually, I'm going to use you as an example. I'm sure you're not going to mind.
I don't mind.
So when he was younger, the phase of his life at a younger age was different from when he was in the middle age. And then now at this age, he's got knowledge and everything. So each step of the way, you're getting a little bit more knowledge. But each step of the way, you categorize and discategorize as an eligible bachelor, right? So at certain points, Tico became more and more eligible. And then there was a drop a little bit. Right.
Yeah.
And there's a little drop. Usually it's around late 20s or something, unless you control the drop or if you're in a relationship or whatever. But then right after the late 20s, as soon as you hit about 30, it spikes. 32, because that's that around the 32 when your whiskers start growing in a little thicker and whatever. You know, women see that. They see the slight recede of a hairline, you know, the visual effects. I'm not saying Tico's bald or anything like that.
I was about to say, I was about to talk trash.
But you know,
female nature is female nature concerned in like cuffing a young guy to keep him around for when he does spike, or do they just want them when they spike? They just want the guy.
No. See, that's just it. I think in my theory, where most of the target is for younger women is the older guys. So take, for instance, I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but 19, 20, 23-year-olds, 23 and 22. I don't know what it is about 23 and 22. Right there, those marks, right? I get so much attention from college 22 and 23-year-olds. Especially after I do like a speech or something like that. It's fucking crazy. It's like you got to beat them off with a baseball bat. But reality is, you know, age is what they're shooting for. So around the 23 age, they're looking for guys like me, my age, you know, older. So well established, got gray in a beard, you know, like someone who got money in their pocket. You know, why do they want that? Right, somebody who's established. Why do they want that? Two reasons. Number one, he's got money. Number two, he's going to pay. He's going to pay through gifts and whatever for her to get around. Yeah, because she's young, right? So she's going to say, "Oh wow, you know, I'm going to want that sticking around." 23-year-old, hell yeah, why not? What the fuck? Why not? What's it going to cost me? An iPad every quarter? Yeah, shit. I can ship that out in a fucking weekend. You know, that's not a big deal. Or, you know, an iWatch every once in a while, or maybe a fucking diamond ring at the end of the year. Reality is, guys,
well, they leverage their work life. They leverage their work life against their personal life. So they say, like, as long as I can pay for this access, then it benefits me. But they don't realize
the reality is
paying into
most guys my age have that cheddar laying around.
That fund, you know, yeah, like the 23-year-old fund.
The fund. Yeah, there's always the slush account that you play with, and that slush account you use to wine and dine yourself. You know, make yourself happy, and in that process, if you want the company of a suitable woman, then you pick one. And, you know, you don't let one pick you. You pick one.
That's the keyword in
That's
there.
just it. So one thing to understand about pickup artistry, you're not picking up women like that. They're picking you up. See, with pickup artistry, you're asking permission. You see? I don't ask permission. They ask permission to be with me. That's the difference.
Donald Trump.
You can't turn yourself into a pickup artist. A pickup artist is someone who's going around begging for pussy.
Yeah.
Logically,
that's literally what it is. They're just begging for pussy.
Yeah.
You're basically validating her ego, basically, by you're emotionally manipulated while validating her that she's sexy.
Yeah, you're really making her have to make a bad choice.
Yeah, you're validating her. You're basically validating her ego, basically, and stroking her ego. Even because, like, I've seen these guys even go for, like, you know, low grade women. Like, dude, you're just blowing up their ego. So now they think they can get like a 10 and shit, or a 7 or a 9 or a 12 or a 15 basically now, because they got with a person that was like, decently looking basically.
And that wraps in exactly to what you said earlier, Tico, is when, these pickup artists, you throw a pickup line on a girl, you're not going to spend the rest of your life or a long-term relationship with that girl. You're saying things to her, or you're picking her up in a way you wouldn't say to
but basically you're lying.
Relationship chick.
But now,
so if you're looking for a long-term, you're wrong.
Yeah,
you're lying.
You're basically lying, and it's very hard to build a relationship on a lie.
Yeah,
precisely.
To be fair, though, I think the short attention span gets lumped in with short-term commitments too, and that's why we have the dating culture that we have, is because no one really understands that the market is for a long-term like a long-term relationship, or they don't understand like when it's a good time to start doing short-term things and not getting too involved.
Stop it, Americus. That's horrible.
What do you say?
Donald Trump grab him by the...
Oh, wow.
The sad part about that, Donald Trump said it. Joe Biden actually did it.
Yes, he did.
No, he's probably not eating trail mix. He's probably eating like just coffee beans, Colombian pure coffee beans raw.
Whatever. No, I'm not. I'm scratching my beard right now, smart ass.
I have my beard. But you're right about the features. And I just learned something too about Neoteny, how that's all of like half of our selective preferences and stuff when we're picking a mate. Neoteny. So between the Neoteny and the short-term relationships and the short attention span, it's kind of like pickup artistry. Almost brings that all into a great, like a climax or a cadence, where it's just like lemmings off a cliff. Everybody go and find somebody right now and do that. It's just, I mean, I'm not blaming it for all of that. I'm just saying.
Wait, why am I savage? I'm not a savage. I'm a nice person. I don't know what you're talking about.
Americus, I hope one day you come on the show, because you're just rolling today. You're on a roll. You're on a fucking roll.
Yeah, definitely. He's always on a roll. If it ain't him, it's Shinobi One. If it ain't Shinobi One, it's him.
Shinobi One he should be on the panel.
Yeah, I plan on having him in, and he's been on once.
So who do we know is a pickup artist?
Yeah,
I was like, I taught my friend Marco how to be a pickup artist, and I taught my
hold on. Let me
private jet how to be a pickup artist.
Let me slap the kid for a minute. Listen, kid, I've seen you operate. Okay, you're blind to it. You don't realize it, but you get looks all the time. So that walk in the park that we did, with the girls giggling after walking by and everything like that, that was all you. That wasn't me. They weren't looking at the old man. They were looking at that, cheddar making yam that was sitting next to me. So essentially, if you think you want to be a pickup artist, forget about it. I won't. Basically. Yeah, it's beneath you. You've got it naturally already. You don't have to worry about that. You just got to hone in your skills. So few more missions with double I. Don't worry about it. I got you on a roll.
You got to teach me how to do that. That
10-4.
Have you ever had sex in a private jet kind of thing?
Dude. No, I ain't gonna tell my secrets. I'm not gonna tell my secrets on here.
I'm gonna teach you how to dug it. Teach you how to dug it. Teach you how to dug it. Teach you how you dug it.
You got so much to learn. Don't worry about it. You got good teachers. Let's just say that. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Let's just not even. Let's not even discuss it. Moving on. What did y'all think about the shit that happened today? Mike Tyson said he was going to get back into boxing. You know, that's a pretty old guy in the ring. That is a pretty.
There's been a lot of old guys that made comebacks, though. You got to take that into consideration.
Yeah,
George Foreman's made like 5 or 6 of them.
He's not thinking straight. He's got a lot of brute strength, and he's got a lot of programmed response. So I wouldn't put it past him to be able to, get through quite a few bouts. But I don't know. I don't know how long he can last, because good hits to the head, he's gonna eventually get that keister, jostled out of him.
Yeah,
but he does punch pretty straight. Like, I don't know if you just would have to last more rounds against him to wear him out quicker, that would be probably the best way to go.
Well, Mike Tyson wasn't always known for his long distance fighting. I mean, he had a decent amount of stamina in his age, but he wasn't always known for long distance or going the distance, basically.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. He's
but the sad part about that is when he had to go to distance, he did go to distance.
Right.
But usually he was just like, handing people L's by a knockout. Usually. It's basically it's basically the same way they viewed Muhammad Ali. They didn't think he was a long distance fighter. Basically, they didn't think he had enough stamina to last longer than like a couple rounds, because apparently he used to make people tap out or quit after X amount of rounds, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
can you imagine just going a half a round with Tyson?
Oh my gosh. I would be like, in 30 seconds, it'd be 30 seconds, and I'd be like, I would be thinking, God, how am I still not horizontal on the map? If I was fighting with Mike Tyson,
how much money would it take to put you in the ring?
The ring with Mike Tyson.
With Tyson for 30 seconds. Fuck.
Oh, for 30 seconds. No, for
30 seconds.
For one round.
For 30 seconds.
No,
just for 30 seconds. Fuck rounds, fuck every, measurement. Just 30 seconds. Everyone knows what 30 seconds is, right? 3-0.
Mm-hmm. Am I not cutting this short? I'll say 6 G's.
6,000? That's it?
6 G's.
Do you fucking know who Mike Tyson is? He could kill you for 30 seconds. Is nothing.
I was just thinking about that too. I was like, I could die.
5 is all he needs. Okay, so think.
I can last 30 seconds on Mike Tyson.
Anybody else?
I can last 30 seconds with Mike Tyson. All we gotta do is keep dodging him.
True.
I would have to be constantly moving, like,
but
around the
figure
map.
out which way you're dodging at eventually.
Not really.
No, I would just keep dodge. I would dodge so hard.
Veteran.
I would just keep trying to dodge.
Well, no, because the thing about me is, like, I have the just regular dodge, bob and weave move. Then I have the sudden, like the sudden last minute move where, like, you'll barely graze me, or you'll just graze
like
me
explosive
when I
move.
I'm damn near like the Matrix when it comes to shit like that. Hell, I dodge water and I dodge water guns at point blank range, paintball guns.
Not today.
I be saying bye to raindrops. I be leaving raindrops in my dust and shit.
I'm serious. Raindrops be missing me.
And they feel bad. They feel bad on the way down. When I look back, they go like, "Fuck, God damn it! Oh no, we got to hit the pavement and shit."
He's like, "Damn, he's looking fresh to death. I can't hit him.
I can't hit him. My water drop."
I would have to have at least half a mil.
Because I do that. I feel like because I do that, I do all the acrobatic shit and stuff. I feel like I always get a tear in my pant for some reason. It's like always that same place. I gotta find like a quick fix for that. But like retail is just gonna be so messed up after this. I'm just gonna order everything online probably.
Oh yeah, definitely. You should always order stuff online. It's easier and cheaper, and you can get it to your house. And you ain't got to fight traffic to do it.
Some retailers are not accepting cash anymore. Is that even legal?
Yeah, it is.
That's crazy.
Apple Pay, because that's what I've never used Apple Pay in my whole life.
You want to know something? You know, want to know something? What apparently we're mad scientists, according to America's DeVille. You guys are a bunch of mad scientists.
Thank you.
But
hey, how tall are you? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, that was I was getting really, but I was really getting scientific. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like when it comes down to it, it's just a weird life, I guess. Basically, I don't know. It's stupid and weird. It's like people don't know what they want. But then when they get what they want, it's like, I don't want that, or I don't want this, or I don't want that, or I want it this way, or I want it that way, or it's like, dude, I'm gonna need you to knock it off.
Well, people don't like people are. I think we're just not socialized a lot in this in the right or in we're not socialized. We're only socialized a certain way. So as soon as we get out of our element, it's like you get very uncomfortable and mad, tripping about shit.
So do you think
we're not social? We're not socialized enough. We're not socialized enough to commit.
So do you think people are not going to be able to properly conduct themselves in a social environment after this?
What? They can conduct themselves in a social environment before this, Double I. Have you seen high schools and colleges? They couldn't conduct themselves before this shit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a madhouse running wild and everything. And
I just think,
I just
think it's going to get worse.
Yeah. That's why you just like, should you red pill kids? Should you red pill them about the truth, or should you teach them of the red pill, not red pill them? Because you can't really red pill somebody. You just teach somebody about the red pill.
I mean, you can red pill somebody. I mean, lessons that you learn every day is like red pill. You can red pill every day.
Lead a horse to water, but you can't make that.
Yeah, you can red pill people, but like the thing is, though, the question is, are they going to actually take the time to actually think about what happened?
Right. Oh, okay. Well, it does.
You can't force feed them. You can't force feed them that red pill. Mm-hmm. If they don't want to,
kind of like,
if they don't want to consume that red pill,
go ahead.
If they don't want to consume that red pill, all it's going to end up doing is causing chaos in your head, because you're going to be trying to figure out, look, man, I'm giving you logic, I'm giving you information. I'm trying to tell you, like, look, man, you got to pay attention. Look, man, you got a fucking vulture right around that corner, right over there. Look, don't you see it? Don't you see it? I gave you the goggles. Don't you see it? And then they go around the corner and they see, no, all I see is a duck. What are you talking about? I don't want to see that vulture anymore. It's just a duck. And the duck wants to take me out, or go out with me today. And this duck wants to, have me buy it dinner. It's a vulture, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's not a duck. How do you say that to the guy? How do you convey logic to where logic is absent?
True. Sorry, I was just typing, but yeah, that's like the void. You have to be able to understand the void and the shadow, and like your shadow self and everything, and be just completely transparent with yourself and just own yourself. And what did you say, Tico? What did you say? Commit to yourself.
Commit, yeah.
Commit is a good idea.
These are all rational, logical reasons to point back to what I keep, badgering people with, is create a baseline for yourself, right? If you don't realize for yourself what you want out of life, what you want to do, what your goals are, the baselines of the things that you have to build in order to reach those goals and things like that. So take, for instance, when I talk about baselines, I know I'm being repetitive here for you, Yam, but I don't think we've ever talked about this on a live stream. But essentially, when I talk about a baseline to you guys, a baseline is being able to conduct your life and make your money on a regular basis without too much effort, right? So that's your absolute baseline. Having a place to live, having a place to be able to think and be in your own thoughts without someone meddling, around you. Having a steady source of income, we kind of covered that with working, right? So then you basically have those things. What about your health? What about your eating habits? What about your exercise? What about your body? What about you, right? So once you and your baselines are covered, you have them on, automatic, on auto drive, right? Whether you contract out some of those things to somebody else to do, or you do them your absolute self, which I recommend. Do everything yourself for yourself. So this way you're not relying on anybody, and you create that baseline. Then, and only then, can you identify what your goals can be. And then selecting from what goals can be, then you choose the goal that you want for your life based upon the baseline that you have. How can you maintain your life and go after your goals at the same exact time? The answer to that, gentlemen, is none. You cannot. You have to do both. But first, you got to create that baseline so you could take that step forward to get to the goals that you want. And that baseline is supposed to be created in your adolescent years and into teen years and into your early 20s. So if your baseline is not created by
for
that
some people,
point,
it's not even that late, or it's not even that late. It's much earlier.
Yeah.
correct. Some people it's much earlier because I don't want to bring attention to this, but I hate to say it, but it's absolutely true. Having both parents in a relationship, a steady household to grow up in, and learning all the life lessons that your father and mother teach you, right? So without that, your baseline is going to be pretty fucked up. So you're on an uphill battle. Is it possible? Absolutely. I'm not saying just because you don't have a good upbringing, you're not going to be able to create a good baseline.
Yeah,
It's
people
just,
still get projected onto and manipulated even when they have a family unit, like a close knit family unit.
correct. Absolutely correct.
It's
So
not a hole in your theory. It's just like that's just a reality. That's just an exception.
right. And then different people also have different levels of knowledge, right? So someone who may have, great parents, but didn't really absorb the way that their father taught them because maybe they didn't connect on a logical level or whatever. So you got a lot of variables in every direction. So, forget about where you are on the map of baselines for when you are 18 or 19 or whatever. Just understand you got to create them. So if you have not created your baselines by the age of 20, I highly suggest you take a step back from the things that you do, extracurricular activities that is, and you look at logically, look at what your baselines are right now and improve upon them till you get to the point where you can just run automatic, right? So every day is automatic. The next day is an automatic. The next day after that is an automatic. So once you get everything operating on an automatic level, then you start building. So because now, if anything happens to you, you slip, you miss a day or something like that, you fall back on that baseline, that absolute, bottom baseline that you live upon. And so you can't fall any further. And it's absolutely possible to fall further. But if you have that baseline or that safety net or that catch guard already set up and you're operating on automatic, you essentially create your own safety net.
To put it in a separate example, you're just think to yourself, if I could survive 2 weeks, just by myself, and be okay with myself those 2 weeks. If it's I go to work, I don't really live at home with anyone. So it's like just being able to hold down a job for like that. What would you say but not like probationary period or something, or like
Mm-hmm.
for that specific amount of time where you could just like get your baselines going in the job, get your sleep cycle synced up, eat the right food, do the right habits, and have the right hygiene and all that. I mean, do at least exercise and all that stuff. You could potentially zoom out of that and create and like get rid of all that negative energy that you spend to get thinking about it, which creates just like it just creates this dark feeling inside, like a lot of the times it creates like a dark feeling inside you. And I think about that a lot too. What you said, do does the youth does the youth kind of like get tainted by the red pill or like become darker because they don't have that family connection of family, and it's just like none of that energy can like go the right way. So it's like, will people become more socially awkward or become more socially deprived and stuff? And then people are socially deprived, we're not socialized about violence properly, so we just go ape shit and crazy and nuts. That's what people who don't really have that family background go, or family background. That's how they
Say
pretty
Tico's
much
eating Rice
operate.
Krispies. He's a mess. He just ain't eating any damn thing now. I'm not even eating anything. But we'll run with that.
Hey, Rice Krispies is a good joint in the morning though. When you're like, if you need to wake up and you can only afford one kind of Rice Krispies, you could make that a baseline.
Crispix has actually got more in it, even though it's corn. But Crispix has more to it than Rice Krispies, more nutrition.
Well, yeah, true.
So if you are looking for a go-to, baseline cereal, I use Crispix.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Do you put like sugar? What kind of sugar do you put in it? Do you put any sugary?
Negative. No.
No
See,
sweeteners or anything like that?
Well, if I wanted a sweetener,
most of your bad stuff.
If I wanted a sweetener, it would be easy as putting a couple drops of honey. Yeah, I'll drink some bee vomit over sugar any day.
Damn. America said injected with corona or watch the Tico sphere. I mean, it's only on. It's like Nick at Night. Nick at Night. It was like you either get injected with.
I'm happy to know we're better channel than the corona.
Or you watch Nick at Night.
So going back to baseline, right? What sort of baselines have you run into since the harsh lessons lashed out upon you?
The harsh lessons? What do you mean?
Yeah, the double I.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, I noticed so many more things that I absolutely need, and then what happens is that most people just vanish out of my sight. Like it's like Thanos. I just Thanos snap people, and then all of a sudden, I'm alone, and I'm like on the farm, and then this Thor dude comes up and tries to whack my head off with the hammer, and I dodge out in this last second, do one of my dodges, and I survive. But no, I'm cutting up. But that's really how it feels. That's really how it feels.
Good. That's exactly how it should feel.
That's definitely exactly how it should feel.
Your portrayal gives a very vivid picture.
Yeah, I mean it would be like watching a movie, but it's definitely not watching a movie. It's definitely more fun than watching a movie. Like you can't tell me
you've seen positive.
It's like the theater. It's like the theater. All right, I'm not here for a drama. I don't want to watch a movie. I don't want to have my heart pulled on. I just want to be and exist and live freely. That's all I want to do. And these track posters having not these troll these I mean sometimes they fall in the line of fire with that. That's fine. That's okay. I'm on the way to changing my own personal life. So that's what all I really care about. I would think that the panel other members of the panel are do this with that in mind as well.
Of course. Of course.
And that's I feel like that's real. I mean, I feel like that's real integrity.
I upgraded one of my baselines today. Picked up or actually yesterday, sorry. Picked up one of those, and they came out last year, but one of the things I wanted to do is upgrade my carry-around single board computer. And I know I haven't done a tech talk.
Raspberry Pi?
Yep, I got the 4B. The 4 gigabyte one. It's only $50. You know, not a big spend, but where they get you is the parts, right? So the board itself is about $55, I think, on certain stores, and on Amazon is like $60 because they got to tack on. So I got the Raspberry Pi 4. I've already had a 4 before, but it was taken by Colonel Dickfinger. We won't get into that right now. But this one.
I don't know. Please do tell us about this Colonel Dickfinger taking a Raspberry.
An SBC.
It's gonna be in a smart ass.
Colonel Dickfinger, you know, he deserves his own show one day because he's done so many stupid things that I can talk about. I mean, we got Lieutenant Colonel Dickfinger. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Colonel Dickfinger. I was reminded. I apologize. Lieutenant Colonel Dickfinger made a lot of mistakes, and his antics are multiple shows. Let's just say that. So you'll hear me reference Lieutenant Colonel Dickfinger a whole lot. Yeah.
Give us a little right now.
No. Let me tell you about the pie first. So not only did I get the pie, but I got a case for it. It's called a Argon Neo. So it comes with a slide, magnetic slide on the top, so it's easy to access the connectors and everything like that on the top. It puts the whole thing into a nifty little package with markings and everything like that. So you don't have to buy a different kind of case. This Argon, Neo is a pretty good case. And then on top of that, I also bought a hat to cool it, a Pi hat. So it basically is a modular unit that's on top of the Pi single board computer and sandwiches together. And then it has an active fan on there and everything like that. I bought a USB charger, and that was basically it, those 4 pieces. Cost me a total of, I think, $89. So it's not that expensive for these things. What is it going to be used for? Well, let me tell you what the Pi has on top of it, and you figure out what you can use it for, right? So these things can be used for so many different devices. I use a single board computer. I'm not going to say which one, but is my hop access point, carry around hop access point. So this thing I'm going to use to control a set of CCTV monitors as well as cameras that I can pull up on my cell phone at any time in my car and also in my RV. So these are different things you can do with a Pi. So it has a antenna on it, a Wi-Fi antenna. It has Bluetooth and 4 gigs of RAM. I put 64 gigs of storage on this thing, just with a little card, nothing, humongous. And it operates on basically 3 volts and I think about 3 amps. I don't know the full figures, but basically it operates off of a USB-C power, and that's pretty impressive for a board like this size. So I can run 2 4K monitors off this thing, and I can edit videos on it if I wanted to. off of Linux. I can use it for word processor. Can it be a replacement computer? No, it can't be. It's not that powerful, but it can do things that, you wouldn't want to put a whole big computer inside of your car, right? So if you just want to run a couple of cameras, like 4 of them, in my case, I'm going to
Can you play Minecraft?
Yes, you can play Minecraft on it. As a matter of fact, I think there's a huge following. What's that?
Why would you do that, though? That's a perfectly good waste of a raspberry.
Have you seen
to put Minecraft on one?
These guys build in Minecraft?
Yeah, I could put it on a USB or something.
Yeah, you could.
That's a perfectly good waste of a man.
You could probably get away with. You could probably get away with putting Minecraft on a Raspberry Pi Zero W, which is $15. It's really small, and it has lower specs. Yeah, I don't think you'd want to put Minecraft on this particular Pi, the one that I got, because it's a little bit more powerful than what you're talking to do. So 2 CCTV cameras, one facing on a driver's side, one facing on the passenger side. And I already have a front and back, so I don't need another one of those, right? I just want this thing to connect to 2 cameras and control 2 cameras. And that is going to connect to a router, which will be connected to the internet in my car. Mm-hmm. It'll also have a GPS on it. And this way I can, number one, track my car wherever it is. It's like, your own personal load jack. Some of you might be saying, well, that's a lot of data. Well, you know what? If you have certain services, you can order the data only card as an accessory to your service. And the data that you use off that card is billed directly to your phone number. So it's basically on the same account. So, I have no extra charge for my data plan being used inside of the car as the device that I described. So I'm basically going to be doing that as far as the internet goes. And so I'll have internet everywhere I go. I'll have a Wi-Fi jump spot everywhere my car goes, and I'll have the ability to see what's going on around my car wherever I have it parked at whatever airport that I leave it at. So, if I'm traveling, I got eyes on my car.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to use this
data.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what you guys can think of, is using a single board computer of some sort to control. But that's kind of what I'm getting, is you need to use devices to protect yourselves in the information age, right? So we talked about VPNs.
Americans available to order a pizza.
VPNs don't work.
Right.
Only Americans available would order a pizza.
Yeah, I've been basically contemplating that's the first thing that I'll probably get rid of is a VPN and just get a Raspberry Pi.
Well, it's okay. Think of having a filter before your internet gets to your phone. So you know how you have ad blockers and things like that? Did I lose you guys?
No, we're still here.
Oh, nobody was speaking. So ad blockers are things that you add on to, say, the web browser, or you may have a standalone ad blocker that's on your computer of some sort, or maybe you have a add-on like a McAfee or something like that, right? To block the ads that are on your browser. Well, here's the problem. Most ad suppliers know how to get past that shit. If you had a ad filter on your router or in between your router and your connecting device, like take your cell phone, your tablet, whatever, right? That thing would be managing your ad viewing, right? Or what domains are allowed to pass through it. So take, for instance, if you go to Google and you go to a site that has a lot of ads. I think Amazon would be one of them, right? There are other ad You guys get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Go to those sites and imagine going to those sites and not seeing the ads at all, and not even having an ad blocker on your browser. Well, that's what the go-between does. It blocks the ad there, so it doesn't even make it to your computer because those domains are automatically blocked. So take, for instance, any, let's just call it clickbait.com, right? So anything clickbait, so to speak, you have a list of all these domains, and these lists are readily available online whenever you create these ad blockers. Those lists, you use those lists to block those ads that are, most common. And so once you activate that ad blocker in between your router and your device, then those websites that say, well, if you don't, if you don't shut off your ad blocker, we're not going to let you in, and things like that, they're not even going to see that because it's not operating like a normal ad blocker. They're not seeing it. It's being filtered before it even makes it to you. So clickbait.com won't even be viewable from your computer. So your browser can't even get to it. And because it can't get to it, it won't be available. Yeah, you won't see the ad.
True.
Yeah. So don't click on clickbait. Use these kind of pieces of technology to, protect yourself from the shit of the internet.
Definitely.
Do you use one, Tico? Two? You use one? Do you use a Raspberry?
Sometimes, not all the time. Mainly the computer and the laptop that I use. Not the one that the feminists sat on, but the other one. I thought about getting that one custom made with a Raspberry Pi in it. I don't know if it'll fit though. Yeah, I don't know if it'll fit though. That's the problem. Anywho's.
Sorry, I kind of lost the thread of conversation there.
No worries. No worries. But there's I don't want to make this into a commercial for Raspberry Pi. That's not my intent. My intent is to open your eyes to a single board computer that does a little bit more than what your phone or regular computer does, and what its abilities are. So take, for instance, if what's that game that Pit Boy's on? Damn, I can't think of the name.
Fallout.
Yes, Fallout. So if you had a Pit Boy, what would you do? Well, you can make one. You can make one out of a single board computer. You can make it however you want it to be, and you can make it do whatever you want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So whatever mission you're on, make your toolbox.
Right.
Yeah. Create your security barrier.
Always.
And add it to your baseline.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone should be upgrading. Just because you find the baseline, you should be upgrading the baseline. Always download the new patch.
What else is new, gentlemen?
Not much, really.
Yeah. Just been working.
Just been traveling.
Been tearing the shit out of online topics.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Shredders.
Mm-hmm. And reading a lot. Finding a lot of shit and posting it, sharing shit. Smashing it, a lot of smashing.
No dashing though, but a lot of smashing.
Yeah, no dashing.
No
I don't
dash.
dash anywhere. I was just so careful to dash. I dash like 2 places, and I'm done. But there's a mad dash. Double I is on the mad dash.
Yeah, yeah.
It really is. That's why he's finding. That's why he's finding everything so like is just crazy. Subject wire,
Look who finally decided to show
and
up.
I learned so much from just listening to him talk. It's like I can't even respond most of the times because I just like literally I'm just still listening. Even after he stops talking, I'm just like, what the fuck? It's very
I just,
very different. Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with my grandfather, and
Mhm.
he and both my father and my grandfather taught me a lot, but my grandfather more so because he didn't have to work. So essentially, in his retirement, I was his project, and being his project, as obviously he would have a vested interest in the success of his project, and going through all the lessons that he taught me, I try and tap into those and hand them down to whoever can benefit from it, and that's kind of where you get you know these lessons from.
True.
That and experience.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, and it's a shame that most people get a substitute of that to work with.
Hmm. Hmm. Like take for instance, someone of your age, in a standard 9 to 5, and they're not uh they're not over 25 or anything like that. They're just doing their standard 9 to 5 gig. They're going home at night, and in the morning they got to go back, or maybe they got multiple jobs or whatever. In that type of a situation, you don't have the time to think to better your life because you're burned out. Number one, because you're thinking about both jobs, how you're gonna run um, efficiently those jobs, and how you're going to deal with unfortunately, the challenges that come with that job, if it's new, or the dynamic of that, or the changes within that new job. The worst problem is if you got feminists, or dealing with that dynamic inside of that job. So on top of that, so these are different layers that you add on. So these examples of these layers, when you compound them with these other things that you think about, take for instance, in your baseline, if anything, uh, during the course of your day gets chopped up, your paycheck may not arrive, or maybe you missed a bill because you
Shit,
didn't have the
yeah.
money for it, or
You gotta
whatever,
have
right?
that. You gotta have that flush fund.
Right.
To,
So, well,
like,
slush fund is one thing, but the baseline is the other. So inside of that baseline, if you don't have the capability to cover that speed bump, you won't be able to move forward faster, right? So your forward momentum gets impeded, and it's done in a way where it's out of your control. Well, if your focus was on the failure and not how to correct it, it's going to delay the correction, right?
True.
But if you focus automatically, like you pre-planned for the failure, right? So you say, oh fuck, I see this line of thinking in this track that I'm on. In my baseline,
or that
I know
someone else
this
is
is
on.
I know in my baseline this is a ridge. This is a ridge that I either have to follow, or this ridge is going to lead me in a different path, right? So if you can identify there's a problem coming up down the path of that baseline that you've already created. So now you've already established a baseline, but now you've got this ridge that something doesn't make sense. And then you hit that ridge and it's, oh shit, okay, I got a ticket. I planned for this in my baseline. I'm not affected. So here you're not reacting to the problem. You've already planned it out. You knew something's going to happen. A paycheck, you missed a paycheck, or a bill came up, or in case of a speeding ticket, you know, in the day of the Rona now, you know, everybody's talking about people speeding and getting into more accidents and things like that. Okay, so what if you're speeding and you know cops got to make money somehow because everybody's indoors and they got to somehow justify their job, and here comes, you know, Yam driving down the road, minding his own fucking business, and he's trying to get to work, and he doesn't realize he's doing 70 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. Well, you know,
hey, bro, you're freaking doxing me.
Well,
you're calling me out.
The sheriff, you know, is sitting there on his fucking motorcycle, stuck in the goddamn bushes, you know, so you can't see him, or he's up on the goddamn sidewalk where he's really not allowed to drive that goddamn motorcycle, because that's what they do, right? So they're hiding in the bushes and say, hey, here comes Yam. I'm going to get that guy. Why? Because I see him pass this road all the time. How do I know that? Because I'm the predator. I'm the wrench. I got to do what the wrench got to do. I'm the cop. What does a wrench do? Wrench has to justify its wrench existence by making money for the county.
Yeah,
so the wrench is going to jump into any gear that drops by, but that wrench is going to be tactful. That wrench is going to say, oh shit, you know, I can't just pull over Double I because Double I is a senior citizen or something. You know, I can't see what he actually is. I don't know what he is, part of this community or whatever. We won't get into that.
That's an understatement.
But Double I is only going maybe 3 miles over the speed limit. Or maybe Double I is going slow because he knows I'm here. So I'm not going to pull Double I over because he knows something, right? But this guy flying 70 miles an hour on a 40-mile-an-hour zone, I'm going to pull his ass over. Why? Because I know he's an easy target. Look at him. He's thirsty. He's trying to get to his fucking job. He knows if he's late, he's going to have a fucking problem. So he's not going to argue with me when I pull him over. He's just going to pull down his pants for me. And luckily, because the type of place this is, you're going to put some fucking lube on there, and I'm going to shove this goddamn ticket
where
the sun don't shine, and you're going to goddamn pay it because you're not going to have time to go to the stupid judge in the trial and say, hey, look, man, I was trying to get to work. I didn't realize how fast I was going to go. I just finished a 12-hour shift. Nobody gives a fuck. This is why your baseline is important. When you have to operate on automatic, you can't think. So when you can't think, you've got to be able to do things on your automatic setting. Your baselines, take care of yourself, take care of your income, take care of your needs, your health, your food, your whatever you need. Your baselines are, right? So when you see this cop and he pulls you over and you see red lights flashing in your rearview mirror, it's not such a big deal anymore. Why? Number one, you managed to prepare for it. So number one, in your baseline, you're going to be thinking, fuck, I got to go through this way all the time. I'm just going to set the cruise control and I'm going to, you know, do it normally. Or you're going to be like, okay, I got to rush today and I'm going to take the chance. And it's worth the slush fund that I have sitting around just for this particular problem. And if, you know, the equation adds up, you do 70 miles an hour, you're going, cop pulls you over, don't be fucking surprised. You might as well just, you know, have that money in a goddamn glove compartment, not give it to him, but, you know, as soon as you get the ticket, put the ticket right on top of the fucking money. So you realize, you know what? I don't have to worry about it. The money's there. Don't try and bribe the cop. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But, you know, have a depiction of this will be settled and I don't have to worry about it type of a situation. You see what I'm saying? That's your baseline.
Not worrying about what other people think about your goddamn private business. It's none of their goddamn business.
None of their goddamn business.
Sir, do you know about
the Raspberry Pi thing?
You were speeding. That sounds like you need to mind your business.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Definitely.
That's my spiel on baselines, gentlemen. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. If you are still lost on what baselines are, I'm more than happy to explain it for you again. Or you can rewind the show. It doesn't matter. But I feel that this is something that all of us, including myself, I constantly streamline the baselines that I use, right? So I'm already talking about upgrading one of my Pis that controls the existing forward and reverse cameras on my vehicle, but now I'm adding a more stronger or more powerful Pi to control the left and right cameras. So these are baseline expansions is what we're talking about, what I'm talking about on this particular project.
Shinobi once said like Raspberry Pi or what are PC board, basically. He said like Raspberry Pi, and there's another one.
Banana. There's all sorts of SBCs out there. The easiest one, and the only reason I'm saying Pi is because they don't really make money. The Raspberry Pi Foundation. This is more or less for people who just want to get into programming and computing, but don't have the thousands of dollars to spend on a goddamn computer. That's what single board computers are mostly for. But yeah, Raspberry Pi 4B is the exact board that I'm speaking of, the 4 gigabyte model. It is $55, $60 on the top level. If you get it somewhere local, you could probably find it for about $50. The setup that I got was about $80 altogether with the case, fan, and power supply. It did not include the cameras, by the way. USB cameras, the ones I'm going to be using are probably going to be Logitech, depending on which ones I get. I want a nice fisheye as far as the side views, because I want to be able to see motion. So, that's just one thing you can do. These things can basically do anything you want it. If you wanted to measure air temperature, air quality, those sensors are all available. So, the possibilities are endless to augment whatever baseline you want to augment. So this is one way of using technology to augment your abilities, right? So here's the ability to make a Pip-Boy. And fuck, if you want to mount it on your wrist, mount it on your wrist. If not, backpack, I don't give a fuck. Make your life better. That's the point. That's the intent.
Yeah, reminds me of The Division.
Yeah.
That game, Division 2, yeah.
Okay, you've I'm sure you guys have all heard of the game Forest. It's been out for a while. I've been addicted to it for the last few weeks.
I play the PS4 port at least once a day.
Yeah. So one of the
welcome
one
y'all
of the things
to welcome. We were here to accept y'all for y'all addictions in this lovely group.
Yeah, right. One of the things you learn from that type of a game, is, and even in GTA or other games, is you have an inventory or your backpack and you fill it with shit. Well, reality is if you made a backpack to carry all the things that you can carry in the game Forest or in GTA 5 or any other game that you have a backpack or carry all, those things would be bigger than our own bodies, because those are holding all sorts of ammunition, rocket launchers and fucking, whips, or even axes and bows and whatever else you're carrying around. So reality is you can't carry a big fucking backpack around, right? But you can put a Raspberry Pi or a single board computer in your pocket. You can mount it inside of your glove box. You can put it somewhere and it's completely disconnected from the electronics of your vehicle or whatever else you put it in, and you can monitor. You can add sensors to it, and you can use it to gain information not only about yourself, but the activities that you do, and no one else is collecting it. You're collecting it, so you can your baseline better for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Detect
the
it
monkey play
yourself
Grand Theft
before
Auto?
someone
What?
else. Yeah, before someone else notices it. The monkey.
Does the monkey play Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
What monkey?
No. Monkey on the picture.
Oh,
Who's that monkey?
No, that used to. That was a former pet monkey of mine. Let's not talk about him.
Oh goodness. Well, I am officially going full wireless as of my decision right now. After hearing all the stuff about SBCs, I haven't got a wireless headset
Why
now.
full
So
wireless?
because wireless is definitely better. Like wired connection it costs so much money to keep a wired connection, or like to get internet for a house. Like if you could just use like internet based or the cloud based stuff in the SBC, you'd probably be much more efficient if you could do that. Like not everybody needs like a brick and mortar establishment. Like a lot of people can live out of their cars. So that would be good to be able to be sufficient anywhere. And then if you really need it somewhere, you can just carry it in a backpack. The only thing is, like, I'm worried of getting profiled. They're like, "What is this?" They're like, if like the cops have to search me, and be like, "Why do you have a big ass like computer thing on you? This looks like a, it looks like a device. This looks very dangerous. We're gonna have to, we're gonna take you in." It's kind of like a setup, almost. It's like, put this on your, go travel on the world and put this on your backpack and like walk around like a lot of shit.
Yeah, legit. Oh man.
Oh my god, I'm brutal. In a GTA, it's a wrap. It is a wrap for your boy. And I learned from Double I. Or I learned from Nikki, because Nikki plays GTA just like the same way Double I plays GTA. It's just like so passionate. I guess like I had the spectator cam and I was watching Nikki just pops up. So freaking so freaking disciplined. And then I was like, how does he do that? And I was like, oh look, this is the aim. Like the aim function's like a quick thing. So you just literally pop in and out of cover and shoot. That's all you have to do. And then literally stuff like that it was just easy coming back to the game after a long time not playing it and be like, oh, this is so easy to actually play this game and do shit well. And it made me think about when like you're on the podcast with True Sherm and you're describing how True Sherm's playing the game, right? It's completely wrong. Or not wrong, it's like completely, it's so noticeably like a sheep.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like, he's like, how do you know so much about me? He's like, because you're really predictable. Oh, does it look like I'm gonna crack? Does it feel like I'm gonna crack?
This kid.
You don't know anything about my pubes. Shut up.
This kid.
Oh my god. All right, you young whippersnappers, it's past my bedtime.
I guess we're gonna call it then.
It's not Yam's live. Let's do the outros.
All right.
Let's do it.
This is Barry Yam. Be good. Take the red pill. This is Barry Yam, aka the Red Pill Peddler, aka Jam He, aka MGTOW Live, aka A Bitch's First Nightmare, aka Yamcha the Philosopher. And y'all have a blessed night. Don't do anything that Yam, would or wouldn't do. I sound like Mix on the Wind right now. God damn it.
Right.
I haven't even drank. I'm not even on the 34. It's crazy. Just so overcome with red pill information. You guys need to pump my stomach after this live stream. And subscribe to all the members on the panel. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment. That's gonna be it.
This is Double I. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us. Hope you guys got good information out of the stream, good information out of the talk. I appreciate you being in the chat. I appreciate you guys listening to us.
You know, a mess.
As far as my channel goes, my channel is the Lost Dad channel. I am Double I, and to all the other lost dads out there, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. One day.
Yeah, definitely never lose hope. This is Tico Tren, aka Tico Tren SYSBM. This is aka the Internal Sadist, aka I just bent your mama over the counter, aka I just did your auntie on the table, aka your grandma sucking my dick, aka oh, goodness, aka I'm a boyfriend's worst nightmare. Let me stop now. Let me stop. No, but y'all. AKA
like,
Crispy
yeah, maybe at my job.
Crispy haircut.
At my job, they're like, yeah, why did you buy a single board computer? With what did you do with your new paycheck? I bought a single board computer. Dude, what did you do to me?
Dude, man. That would break all the code. Like the brain would just shut the fuck down. It's like, wow.
Off, the generator goes like they go to disaster.
The lights go dark. Everything. Single board computer. Your paycheck on a single board computer does not compute. Does not compute.
Damn! I
like, why did you spend it on a woman?
Right.
Dude, the most I've ever spent on a single board computer was like $400.
Yeah, but spend your
all right, gents.
Yeah, it's been real. I love doing these lovely things. Hopefully, we can keep this up. These are kind of fun. I actually enjoy this. Y'all have a blessed night, and we're out.
We out.
Bye, niggas. Bye.
Yep.
In your face.